Shannon from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today I am back with the long-awaited stamping embellishments video, I guess you could call it. I've had a lot of y'all ask me how I get the cutest embellishments. Well, you know, everything is just so cute. But really, it's just about stretching your embellishments, making use out of your stamp sets and your stencils, things like that. Things you have that's reusable, but we tend to, you know, use them a time or two, forget about them, and they become unloved. So, I have a few stamp sets. Y'all know I have wore out this flower stamp set. Sorry, there was a tea spill right before I started this video. I thought I had it all clean. There's a little bit on it. But this is my most favorite stamp set of all time. It's the Close to My Heart in Full Bloom scrapbooking set. And I use these flowers all the time. And I will forever use them all the time. And they go with anything, but you can use any stamp set you want. I have used these moss a lot. I have 3 different ones, but I usually use this little mouse, and you can tell I don't really wash my stamps or anything. So, but this one's cute. It even has a little boot. It has sentiments with it. This one's the same. This one's where I get my mushroom from, and my little sleeping mouse. And this one has them sleeping so they can be laid across the mushroom asleep. And then of course it has all the little things. I haven't even ever used any, well, I used that once I think, but I've never even used those stamps. I think I've used these once, maybe. This one has little strawberries. But all 3 of these sets came from Temu. And I have had several people asking me about where I got them from. I did get them from Temu. I have looked and tried to reverse engine search and all that stuff, and still have not found where these actually came from or who made them. So I don't know if it was something that actually one of their designers or someone made. So if you know, shout it out. There's people that's interested in knowing so that they could try to get them, because they are not available on Temu. I bought these over a year ago. I have my new little stamp set that I just got from Graphic 45, and I'm excited to do these little mushrooms. And then I have a few other stamp sets. Ugh, everything's wet. I thought I got it all, but I didn't. So let me give it a quick wipe on my pants. Here's this Cherish scrapbooking set from Close to My Heart, and I love this one, not just for the flowers, but also for all the little greenery and the leaves that it has, because I can always use greenery. And then I have this little birdie stamp set that's so cute. I recently just got this one on Temu. And I have this stamp set. Y'all saw me use the snails a lot with the Life in Bloom collection. This is it, and I of course got it on Temu. Same with the bees. I have used these bees a lot. And these little frogs, look how cute. This one has eyelashes, and I've never even used this set. Actually, I've never used any of these sets, either one of them. So I just pulled out a bunch of stuff. I don't think we're gonna do all of this today, but I just wanted to kind of show y'all my thought process and how I go through doing it. A lot of y'all have asked how I do it, and do I use a MISTI? No, I do not. I use this Close to My Heart. This is just a, I don't even know what it's called, a craft mat, I guess. But of course other companies make these and all that, but the key is, for me, it has this foam padding on this side. And if you don't have a MISTI and you don't have one of these, if you have like a mouse pad, you know, the old-timey mouse pads, or they even still use, but anything with a little bit of cushion. If you have any Close to My Heart stamp sets, let's see if I can grab one, and they have this little thing in them. We sometimes think they're just for looks, but these are awesome. Or even if you have any packing This is like what's used for packing. You know, it comes in rolls. You can totally use that, but anything to give it a little bit of cushion so that it gets a good deep imprint. Now, if you have a Missy, you don't have to worry about that because you can stamp it, you know, 5 million times if you want to. So, this is a great way to use up scraps. Sometimes if I'm doing a huge stamping project, I will just take and pull out a whole sheet of 12 by 12 white cardstock or whatever. I make sure it's not textured. And usually I only have the textured, so I'll flip it over to the back side where it's not textured. And I use that to stamp on. But this is scraps that's been left over from various projects. I have all these. It's the same size that I have left over from putting all of my dies in the little sleeves. And I cut them down to 5 by 5 or 5.5 by 5.5. So I had these little extra pieces left over out of the 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to use these to stamp with today. And I totally forgot my stamp block. Let me grab that real quick. Okay, so I have just these glass blocks. Let me get one smaller one just in case. So you can totally, you know, use a different size or not or whatever. It don't really matter. I just like to do it if I'm stamping multiple things to fit them all in one thing, but you know, whatever works for you. And then let's see if I can get in frame here somewhat so y'all can see what's going on. I have all my stamp sets over here. And then here is how I like to color. If I don't stamp on the colored cardstock, I like to use these tri-blend markers because it has the three different shades in it, you know, light, medium, and dark. Makes it really easy to blend. I do not store them like this. I store them on a Totally Tiffany marker rack on their side because they do recommend that you store them on their side to extend the life of them and keep the ink evenly distributed, which I have found that actually works out really good. And also, if you have a leaking marker and you have it stored up like this, it's horrible. I just put them like this so y'all can kind of see what I'm doing, and that way I wouldn't have to keep reaching for markers because I don't know what color I'm going to use. Now, after I've gathered what I'm thinking about, sometimes I just like to sit down and play. So I'll just stamp out a bunch of stuff knowing that I can use it in the future and keep it generic. Sometimes I'll pick a collection and decide, okay, what route do I want to go with this? Like whenever I was doing the, what was it called? Berry Fields collection, and it was, you know, strawberry based. I did the little mice and I did strawberries, and, you know, I die cut stuff, and I did the little mushrooms and all that stuff and did them in red and all that so that it could match that collection and it helped stretch the collection. And I don't really have a collection in mind. I don't know what I'm going to do next, actually. I just wanted to get this video filmed before I have surgery so that y'all, you know, have it, because I've been promising it for some time and just haven't found time to do it. So I'm making time to do it. So, let's see. Let's just start out with the mice because that's always a good starting place, and the flowers. Okay, so this does have die cuts with it, but I like to fussy cut. So I'm just going to kind of stamp a little bit, and then I'm going to show y'all my thought process. And let me grab my ink because I'm not prepared. Okay, so then I'll just use Intense Black by Close to My Heart. There's other stamp makers out there, and I don't know. This has always been the best black ink I have ever found. I have a refill, but I know it won't last forever. But I really like using this because once you stamp with it, it doesn't run when you color it with these markers, which is the issue with a lot of them. I don't know. This says it's solvent-based permanent ink, so I don't know what other brand compares to that and not run whenever you color it with I'm guessing these are maybe alcohol markers. I'm not sure. But either way, this is the ink I like to use. You know, use what you got and then just play around and you can find out what works, what don't work. Now, I have also stamped in the past, I've stamped these mice on little gray backgrounds and whatever. So, you know, do whatever you got, whatever makes sense. Use up your scraps, you know, and just kind of expand your collection. So, I like to just put my stamp on there and then I just make sure it's inked up really good. And I always make sure it's on this foamy part, and I kind of always look at it whenever I first start stamping just to make sure I've inked up all the little places good. And then I just give it a firm stamp. And voila! You have a perfect imprint, and it's not, you didn't have to stamp it a million times. Now, you can see I've refilled my ink pad recently, so this corner up here is a little bit darker, but I don't mind. It's fine, and it does dry just a tad bit lighter, not a lot. And so, man, I don't even have a paper towel. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, I lied. I do. I have a paper towel. Yay. Okay. Usually if I'm going to do a lot of stamping, I do get out my stamp chamois that I have from Close to My Heart to wipe off my stamps. But in general, I don't really ever wash my stamps. I usually just wipe them off a little bit. And I know, sorry for y'all that are very LCD and likes everything to stay clean. I don't mind. I've found that it doesn't affect the stamp quality. So I'm okay with it. Okay, I'm going to set this on the side because it probably don't have a whole lot more room to stamp on. Let me stand up. Okay, I just need to make sure y'all can still see me if I'm working at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing. So this is kind of just a hangout video to show y'all my thought process. And you got to be careful if you're stamping somewhere close, because if it's on your glass block, it will get on your paper in other places. And, you know, this is just scraps, and I'm just stamping on here, so I don't really mind. But, I like to just stamp a bunch of little mice. Let's see here. So, you know, if this is boring to you, you can totally fast forward. It won't hurt my feelings at all. There's more tea. Oh my goodness. My son accidentally knocked over my cup. We was taking down a lot and it knocked tea all over my laptop and all of my stuff I had sitting out getting ready for my video because I was just ready to set up and film. Okay, let's see. I can fit one in on there. So that's pretty much what I do. I end up just deciding what all I'm going to stamp, and then I get busy stamping, and I just stamp over and over and over. And that one probably won't fit on there. And I just kind of assembly line it, and I just fill up a hole. Like I said, I usually use a 12 by 12 page, and I fill it up. And then I go through and I color everything, and then I go through and I cut it all out. So, okay. So we've stamped enough mice, I think. And I'll stamp a few other little things and just show you guys my process. Let me grab the mushrooms. And I can put both of them on here together, and just so that I can stamp multiple. And it's sometimes easier if you have a whole 12 by 12 sheet and you know you want to stamp a lot, because you can just lay it out and then you can stamp, 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 and then go to your next set of stamps and stamp, 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 and then it's all on one sheet to color. But, you know, like I said, do whatever do whatever you need to do, whatever works best for you. This is just, like I said, a great way to kind of stretch your embellishments and get some use out of your stamps, because these work out awesome, you know, depending on what you're stamping out and doing. See, and we got both of them on there. And let's see, let's stamp on this direction. And voila. And then we got mushrooms. Okay. I want to stamp my new 49 and Market mushrooms. And then we'll move on. Okay. Well, maybe I'll stamp some frogs. Huh, these are pretty sticky. I don't know. And usually if I use a new stamp, I like to just touch it to my skin to kind of get those oils off. And sometimes if I have a new stamp and it don't stamp real clear, let me show y'all what I do. I have this really old, this is from Close to My Heart, and it came with it was like a distressing block or something like that. They probably make them with other stuff, but you could get this and some little pretty sandpaper all together. But I'll just take like the smoother side, or even one that's just a tad bit rough, and I just rub it over the top of them, and I go both directions so that it don't leave any lines in it, and then I just wipe it off, and then it's ready to stamp, and it usually stamps really clear. So let's see what it looks like. That's cute, but it probably needs to honestly be stamped in red, but I wouldn't like this part in red. So it needs it up here in red, but I don't know. Okay, so for the moment I'm not going to stamp any more of those because I want to change it up, which means I'll probably have to stamp it in red and create a, what's it called? My brain is not working, it's blanking out. A mask, there we go. I do. Well, y'all was probably yelling it, right? Sending across the brainwaves. But create a mask so that I can stamp this in black and then do all the little things in red. Alright, so that's that. Oh, we could do some butterflies. And you know, you can totally do sentiments and stuff, but I normally don't, just because I wait until I'm doing my project and decide, you know, if that's the route I want to go, because I never know what I'm going to use them for, so I usually wait, and then if I'm making a card, then I'll do it on that, or, you know, whatever. And then you have some butterflies. Okay, and then now this stamp is really dirty. I really got the ink down in there, so I will maybe wipe that off if I remember. Chances are not great. And then, okay, we're just going to stamp a few more things and then I'll show y'all. And then I usually, sometimes I use the bigger block so that I can fit more stuff on here and do a bunch of them at once. I could probably actually reposition this and then still get the leaves on there, because I really do like having the leaves. Or you could totally just put it on a different stamp block, which would probably be the easy solution, right? And like I said, I don't notice, me not cleaning my stamps, I don't notice any difference in the stamp quality because these are testimony to that. I have had these for a long time. I know over a year. I don't know, maybe 2 years. But either way, they still stamp just as great as they did when I first got them. And I still love them. And I will use them forever and ever and ever and ever. Now, a lot of times if I'm getting near the edge of the paper and I'm doing like flowers or leaves or something like that, I don't mind if it runs off because I can totally still cut those out and use them on my page, and y'all see me do that all the time. So like how this is just the one flower now, and since I don't have enough room, I can run off the little edge. I mean, it doesn't hurt it at all. And I can fit another one in right there. And I can fit another one in right there. So then, like, I've really, you know, filled in my paper and getting my money's worth from the scraps. Because y'all know I really like using up the paper. Alright, let's stamp one more thing. Oh, I'm so torn. Frogs or birds? Frogs or birds? Okay, let's do the birds. Because I haven't used the birds yet. But I haven't used the frogs yet either. But maybe when I'm done, I'll do some of those. I don't know. Alright, let's get another piece of paper. And a birdie. Let's see. We can probably stamp maybe 2 at once. And sometimes if you're not getting a real good impression, go back to just doing, you know, the one stamp at a time. Well, I don't think that's going to work. But, let's see. We could totally stamp these little leaves to just fill it in. Alright. So, let's get it inked up good because this one's a new one. And stamp it down. Look how cute! Okay, I love the little birds. You are going to see a lot of little birds in my future. Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay, let me stamp the other 2 birds and then we'll go to the next thing. Okay, let's stamp this one real quick. And this would be super cute. I mean, even for, you know, if you was doing a swap over on Ginger's Corner or wherever, you could totally, there we go. Just had to flip him over to fit him in. And then, you know, I can totally go back with my other stamps or like my butterflies or little flowers and just fill in all the white space so that I always get the most of my paper. I try to fill it up as much as possible, and then before I color, and then that way it's all right there. So this video will probably be a little bit longer, but hopefully y'all don't mind hanging out with me. You know, if you're tired of seeing me stamp stuff and talk, just fast forward. And you can see the end result. Alright, so there's that. I love these little sayings that came with this bird. It says, your tweet, birthday wishes, an original created by me just for you. Life is tweet with friends like you. And if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. So, I thought those were sweet and cute. Okay, so we're stamped all we're stamping for now. Oh, I was going to show one other thing. Okay, let's do the green. And this is just, oh, that's okay. We'll stamp a frog on there. But I was going to show you with some leaves, because that's another way that I do a lot of my leaves is, I just stamp them onto the green, and then if I want to highlight them up, I can with my green marker still. But if not, I can just use them as is after I cut them out. Okay, and this is just some green scraps that I had left over. Look how cute! Okay, I love the little frog. I love him, love him. And you know, I'm extra when it comes to stuff. So, if I was doing these for a swap, and I wanted to do, you know, let's say frogs, for a pond or an animal or, you know, an amphibian or whatever swap the theme is, and I picked frogs, I would totally stamp out a couple of these frogs, maybe even all three for each person, and I could stamp them on green so they would pretty much be finished, and then I would stamp it again on a different color to like get the bow, and I would fussy cut the bow and put it on here. And then I would stamp the eyes again on white so that I could cut them out. Let me just do that so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. I'm sure y'all know, but you don't even have to stamp the whole thing. You're just going to stamp the eyes. But I have another way that I could fix that too so that they would be different colors. But I think, you know, in the new year, Ginger's going to require you to have at least 2 layers, and this would totally count as 2 layers, which stamping and then coloring and all that would be 2 layers. But okay, so let's just start with the frog since that's where we're already at. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stamp one more time, and I'm going to stamp onto this yellow. Maybe I should do white. No, let's don't. Let's just do the yellow. Okay. So, and you know, totally use scraps for this. Or you could even stamp it on white and then color it whatever color you want. Okay, so I really like these. These are my close to my heart scissors. They probably have T on them too. But these are the best scissors I have ever found. You know, whatever, if you like to fussy cut and you have your favorite scissors, awesome. Use those by all means. But just go in and cut around the little bow. But I think this is just an awesome way. And then if you do like some different things, like stamp on different colors or whatever, maybe not for a frog, but like say a rainbow or something like that that's, you know, doesn't really matter about color, but it's matchy-matchy. You can combine them. Like if you stamped a rainbow on 5 different colors, you could cut out, once you cut out each little arch, you could glue it together and you could already have 5 sets of rainbows. So, of course, the colors wouldn't be in the same order, but, you know. Okay, so then pretty much I am just going to fussy cut my frog. Let's see here. And the key when you're fussy cutting is move your paper, not your scissors. So it definitely makes a big difference in how easy it is, and it also gives you that smooth edge. So and I'm just, I mean, I can fussy cut pretty quick, but this is just a fast fussy cut. It's not super detailed or anything. Usually none of my stuff really is. Okay, and then, so then you have your bow. I need to trim it off a little bit. And then you're just going to take your glue. If it's going to come out, it might be stopped up. Oh, it's going to come out a little bit. And then you're just going to glue your little bow on. And he has a bow tie now. And then you're you're going to do the same thing over here for the eyes. Now, you could totally do the same thing where we're cutting out the eyeballs and going to put them on, or, you know, you could totally go in and cut out the mouth and just glue it onto the eyeballs if you already had it stamped in white. Let's see, that's that side. And if you didn't want to do this part where we're cutting his eyes out of white, you could totally take the white gel pen and just fill in the part that's supposed to be white on his eyes to give him character. Now, usually even when I stamp them out, because like I said, I'm extra, and I feel like anybody can stamp an image. So I like to, like for swaps or whatever, I do like to do a little extra. But, okay, so then we have the basics. You have your cute little frog. And what I like to do is I go in with a marker that's kind of close, but it don't have to be super close in color. So this one is just the light green blend. And then I'll just go in with the lightest color and just color in like key parts. So like this is his belly, just to give him a little bit. And then I'll just go around the edges of like his little toes. Or I don't know what they're called, but you know. And then the highlighted sections, like where shadows would be, which ain't always correct. And I'm not an art major or nothing, so I just do what I like. And then go around like his mouth, his little nostrils, and then do a little bit here. And I feel like it really gives him a little bit of character. And then I'll go back in with the mid, and I'll do a little extra like here on his belly. Maybe a spot here, and then here. And then I'll go in with the darkest one, same thing. Just do a few little spots. I just make it smaller and smaller. I probably should put a little bit down here on his toes. And then we totally have our little stamped frog. I don't know how good you can see him, but ain't he cute? Now, you could even go even deeper. You could take glossy accents and put on his eyeballs so that they actually look shiny and glossy. Sorry, my air conditioner's kicking on again. Alright, so then we have our little frog done. So, we're going to move on. And these are a lot more simpler with this stuff. So I have the dark red blend of the tri-blend markers. And I just start out with the light. And you know, you could do, actually, let's do our mushrooms. Normally I use the dark red, but let's do something different. Let's do, what about some pinkish purple mushrooms? Something different. Okay. So then I'm just going to go in and color these up. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm going to be using these for yet, so they might get a little bit crazy. Chances are I'll either use them on an upcoming page or... Oh, I didn't mean to color that. Okay. Just kidding, we're coloring it. Or... you know, I can always use them as embellishments on cards. And I'm not super careful. Like, I usually try not to color over the little dots because I want them to stay white. But I'll do that, and then I'll go back with the mid. Same thing as a while ago. I'm just going around. I go around the edges. Kind of try to avoid the little dots on here. But, you know, like I said, you can totally do these with any, you could do this with any stamp set that you have. It doesn't have to be flowers or mushrooms or frogs or birds or whatever. You know, just pull it out, do up a bunch of them because, um, you never know. You know, especially if you have a collection that you love, but you don't have a whole lot of embellishments for it. You know, totally pull those out and create some more to go with it to bulk up your collection and, you know, so that you have a lot to use. And then I just go in with the dark. And I'm never nice and neat with anything. I just go for it and, you know, say, well, it's alright and we'll fix it later. And it's fine because you're going to fussy cut stuff out, or if you have a die, even better, color it and then die cut it. But I just personally like to fussy cut. So then to fix my little areas where I have my white, I don't know if y'all can see it, but have the color in the little white dots. I like to just go in with my white jelly roll pen and I will just draw over the marker spots but leave the black line so that it still, you know, gives it a little bit of dimension. But as you can see, it just disappears right away. And then with the mushrooms, things like that, you know, eyeballs, umbrellas, rain boots, anything like that, I like to make it shiny, so I'll usually use like glossy accents or whatever. So, same thing, got the little mice, and let's see, let's color one of these ones. I really like this one. I like all three of these, that's why I always stamp them. I end up using them all in different ways usually. I usually use my brown gray markers for this one. This one's brown gray shades. They're all getting a little skimp because I've colored so many mice, because, you know, the mice was what started it all with the tickets, and I never looked back. So I apologize for the squeaking if the little mouse is squeaking, because my marker's running out. And I just try to color around the eyes, you know. Like I said, though, there's ways of fixing that, so. And then I just do the same thing. I just go in at some spots, like where the shadow would fall, you know, it would be under his neck. And then I like doing, you know, half of his body, over his little eyebrows, there. And then, same thing, I just go back in with the dark, do an even, you know, smaller area, just enough to make it a little bit noticeable. And then I go back in with the light one and I color over top of everything that I did, so that it just kind of blends it. At this point, it's probably not doing much blending because it's just about out. So it'll usually all dry together better. And then I just take, like, this one's pale pink, so I just take a very light pink and do the ears. And I usually put a little bit on the nose. And then same thing, go back around again. I go out. And then same thing with the darkest one, I just do some spots so that, you know, it gives a little bit of dimension. Okay, so let's color a bird. Let's see which one. Let's do this one. He's a cutie. Okay, so let's see. I want to do red because I have to do a red bird. Alright, let's see here. I'm just going to do the basics like always. I'm just going to color the whole thing first. And you could totally not do the whole thing. Color it ever how you want to, whatever you think looks good to you, you know, whatever. would actually make a really cute little robin if you did it brown with the orange belly. I might do another one that color. But okay, so I have the lightest one done. I'm going to go back in with the mid and like do all of this up here and do the wing so that it'll be, you know, it'll come off a little bit darker. I'm going to do the tail feathers. And I know it looks really messy, but it turns out good in the end. Alright, so then with the black, goodness. With the darker, I just go kind of around the edges versus, you know, the whole thing. Just so that it gives it a little bit of dimension, maybe a little bit around the eye. And then I go back over it with the white and color it all in, blend it all together. Okay, and then I just take an orange, here we go, we'll just use this one, it's light. And then just do its little nose. And you know, you could totally do its little feet too if you wanted to. I would probably just leave them as is. Okay, so then you have your little birdie, and you can totally go back in and brighten up its eye. Same with the mouse over here. You can totally, you know, go in and doodle him up. Him, her, whatever. Okay, so that's that. And with the flowers, y'all saw me use these flowers all different ways. I've left them plain like this and just put a center in them. I've colored them. With my green ones, I like to just go in with the green and just color up the leaves with the white. And I apologize because my markers are running out. I'm waiting for Ginger to post they're having another sale. These are definitely worth the money. I was able to get like 24 of them for like, I think 50 bucks. And that's cheap because, you know, they're really pricey. But they're a good investment and they last a long time. Alright, so then I just go back in with the mid. I just kind of scribble everything up. And then I just go in with the dark and go down the center, kind of in the darker places of the stamp, just where, you know, it's kind of shadowy. Same thing here. And they color up really fast. And then you can just decide, okay, what color do I want to go with? A bluebird would have actually been prettier with the purple and the green, but let's see. Maybe we should just go with yellow. So let's see. I have citrus blend here. So what I do is I just go in with the centers and just color these up. And like I said, I just decide usually what project I'm going to do. And then I go in and decide what color scheme I want to go with. And sometimes if I have nothing, you know, nothing at all in mind, I'll just go in and color up a bunch of different ones. Like I'll just make, you know, a range of colors in the, like do yellow, blue, purple, pink, so that I have kind of a selection to use. And then the same thing. And then usually I end up using bling. I've used buttons for the flower centers. I've used those little diamond art things for the centers. So then we've done all that. So then pretty much I just go back in, and when I fussy cut, I like to go through and I cut out every individual thing. And of course I'll leave all these other ones together because I haven't colored them yet. But I will go through and cut all of these out, and then I'll go through each one and cut them out. So I'll just do a really fast fussy cut. So I hope this helps inspire you guys to pull out those unused, unloved stamp sets and put them to use. Show them some love. You know, they're some of our biggest investments in our craft collections because, you know, we pay a lot of money for stamps just to use them a few times. So if you can find some of those that's really versatile and use them on layouts, use them on cards, in your journals. You know, if you participate in the swaps, awesome. You could totally use them on that. You know, just think of different little ways. Like I've done the little girl stamps with the umbrella and stuff. I've done those, and you know they were all stamps, but I just stamped them on multiple colors and layered them up, and that's always really fun. So depending on what you want, you know, things like this, I find flowers, mushrooms, birds, um, things like that are really versatile in what you can use them for. You know, you can use them as tuckers, you can layer them up on layouts, cards, whatever. You can make embellishment clusters out of them. I mean, like here's our little frog. Well, let me finish cutting this stuff. And then I'll move the black so that it makes it a little bit easier to see, at least on my eyes, because that's why I went to a white tabletop, because I had cataract surgery and then I had to have eye surgery again, and my table used to actually be black and I could not see good anymore on what I was working on. So I had leftover wallpaper from my bedroom redo, so I took and put it on my table. I have had a few questions about that, so if you're watching, there's your answer. It was wallpaper, and I got it on Amazon. And hopefully I've been in frame this whole time, because I haven't thought to check in a while. And like I said, it's fun to get, think of where you can add the extra stuff if you're not having to keep them flat. You know, you can add the glossy accents, which it does still stay flat with that, but you can add all the little diamond gems, add some bling. On some of your stamps, if they're big enough, you could even add googly eyes to like your frog and stuff. That would be really cute. I was trying to think. My brain's like, no, you thought too much. Life is crazy, y'all. There's a lot going on, so. If y'all decide that y'all are going to pull out your stamps and make some embellishments, totally tag me on Facebook. I would absolutely love to see. I'm usually around on Ginger's Corner, and she said she doesn't mind. Posting pictures and things like that on there, so, and I'm sure Ginger would love to see what you create too. There's always something fun going on over there. Alright, so we got our little mouse fussy cut. I even like to fussy cut in between his whiskers. That's one of my pet peeves was store-bought embellishments, is that they leave such a huge white border on there, and it's great for some things, but most of the time it's not. And I usually go back in and trim down the stuff, the white borders off of the embellishments. Alright, let me move that over. Let's see if I can zoom in. Usually the quality gets bad. Okay, so we have our embellishments that we stamped, we colored, we fussy cut. But is this not the cutest? Look at this. I should have did another one of those and cut them out. But you could totally make a little cluster. Look, if you did the little bird and put some flowers. You could pop dot the flowers, and you know, you could even make the little bird sitting in the flowers and add the little cluster. Add in some little extra leaves. Isn't that cute? Look at just that one. Let me move over so y'all can see what I'm doing. Isn't that cute? And like I said, you could do the bird in different colors, whatever. That was just a fast showing y'all what we're doing. Same thing with the little frog here. You know, you can totally cluster him up, and all of this stuff would go together. Look how cute. You could even add in the little mushrooms in the background. Isn't that cute? And you totally, I mean, literally, I mean, not even an hour. Well, it's took an hour almost for me to show y'all start to finish. But if you're in the you rolling, you got your paper out, you got your stamps out, you know what you're doing, stamp away, spend time coloring. I've been known to take things in the car with me, and you know, you can look, take your little mouse in. You got a little mousey. I totally took printed out images that I had printed off of the computer on the band trip on the bus and worked on coloring. And you know, these would be super cute. You know, we've done them in red and all that, but look how cute. So super cute, super easy. Put those stamps to work. So I am going to offer a giveaway. So if you leave me a comment on here, I'm going to finish coloring up the things that I've already stamped out. And if you leave a comment on this video, I will draw a winner from it, and I will send you all the embellishments that I colored and cut out today. So all the little mouse, the frogs, the flowers, the butterflies, the mushrooms, the birds, and I will send them to you. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know this video is a little bit longer, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that you were inspired. And until next time, bye y'all.